Good rising, everyone, and welcome to Coffee Talk with Karen B. Yeah, 9:46. Yeah, I'm a little late today. I'm not gonna lie. I took my sweet ass time, getting my butt in gear this morning. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens. Do you actually jazz, or are you doing it for smooth? I actually do like jazz, Rachel. To be honest, I do like jazz. I went through this huge jazz phase when I was younger where I was listening to like nothing but jazz. Like old school classic jazz, like like Frank Sinatra and stuff like that, but also like Ella Fitzgerald and all those old school type jazz singers and Billie Holiday, and I was really into that for a while, and then of course like some freeform jazz like John Coltrane, Miles Davis type stuff. I enjoy that sometimes. Good rising, Ashley and Mark and Rachel and Tom and Sam and Cold Brews over there in Rockfin. Wow, look at all you shiny, happy people in the YouTube's chat. Popsicle Toes is my favorite. Yeah, that's good. Someone put out a very comprehensive video depicting Biltmore Estate as being evidence of Tartaria having roots here in America. Yeah, I saw someone share a video. I think was that the Mind Unveiled video you're talking about, called Biltmore Exposed or something like that. Okay, but here's the thing. I really have an issue with that word Tartaria. What does Tartaria mean to you? Can somebody type your definition of what you think Tartaria is in the chat? Because I feel like a lot of these type of discussions are just all over the place. And if you try to address one thing, it turns into Tartaria this, Tartaria that. And you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. I wasn't talking about Tartaria. You know what I mean? So what does Tartaria mean to you? I would like to know. Yeah. Can you have a Remy cameo? Remy's in the living room. Thank you for the tip, by the way, Rachel. Remy's in the living room, and I'm in my office, and he hardly ever comes in here. I just walked him, and he's probably chilling now. Oh, yeah? The Biltmore uses old ancient water system at the NC Arboretum for energy. There is so much antiquitech everywhere connecting them. The Biltmore has its own grid inside. I went on a tour in the Biltmore, and I've been in that room where it has its own, like, the whole thing. It's like a huge transformer in there. We talked about this a little bit, but that particular time or day that I talked about Biltmore, it didn't make it on YouTube. Biltmore Estate. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it. Power room. Yeah, here we go. Hold on. Let me switch to the thing where you can see. Nope, that's not the one. There we go. Yay! Okay, so this is what it looks like in there. They have their whole thing. Look at all these wires. They have this down under the house. I went on a tour where you can go into these rooms. I went into the basement. I went into the pool room. Down here where they have this big electrical like power grid thing. They've got they also have two huge oilers. Wonder if I could find those. big boilers that for the heat. Let's see, power room, heating system. Yeah, these things. I saw these things where it's like a big old furnace. They have two huge furnaces. Both of them are the size of a room. That's their heating system. They even had this major laundry room. They have this major like they had like the first washing machines. They had all these big heavy duty washing machines and stuff for like washing all the sheets. And they have these big, like the whole thing. The laundry room for Biltmore Estate is bigger than my house. Which is saying kind of a lot. My house isn't that small, but the laundry room is huge. And they had all of like the original laundry things in there. Spicy Sarah, if you want to go, me and Cammie want to go, we should all do a group trip to Biltmore. It would be fun. I used to have season passes to the Biltmore Estate. I used to go there quite a bit. I used to take my children there. I used to love going and hanging out in the gardens and the greenhouse, because they have this massive greenhouse. They have the coolest greenhouse and garden there. It's, to me, it's like almost as cool. It's just as cool as a house, if not cooler. Look, there goes Cammie. There's another huge castle across the valley from Biltmore. Really? Okay, let's see. Let's see what you guys are saying for what Tartaria is, because I want to read these. The word Tartaria is found on old maps, so it's not a made-up thing, and we're just learning how far it extended. I know the word Tartaria is on old maps because it was a place, or considered a place, or it was called a region between Russia and China a long time ago. I'm not saying Tartaria never existed. I'm just saying what Tartaria... Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I know all about 100% what Tartaria is, but when somebody says research Tartaria, I feel like they don't, what they think that means and what somebody would end up with if they actually researched Tartaria are two different things, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Tartaria, northern Russia back in the day, but turned into some old worldwide fantasy today. Yeah. I live in Asheville and have been to Biltmore House numerous times. They have pictures of the whole thing being built, even the groundbreaking ceremony. Mike D. for life. Yes, I know, because actually there was one time at the Biltmore House where they had a whole exhibit. It was based on the construction of Biltmore House, and they had a whole thing set up which was all about the construction. It was very well documented, and yeah. It's not an impossible structure. I don't think any of these big buildings and castles are impossible structures. You know? I just think that we don't know what it was. Tartaria is a place that seemed to turn up around 2017, 2018, old Eastern Bloc countries supposedly expanding to an advanced empire. Isn't it a region between Russia and Mongolia that tried to create its own country way back? Yeah. Well, it's between Russia and China. And then I found some old, like, things in the newspaper where it has all these lines and all of them go down to, like, Genghis Khan. And it's all Tartarian stuff. Like, the Tartarian stuff comes down to the Mongol Empire. That's what it turned into. Makes me think of Heller, but I haven't researched it. We can take private tours of the hidden passageways at the Biltmore for lots of money. Yeah, I know, but they don't let you record, so you have to do hidden cameras. I know, because I took some of those tours. I took the housekeeper's tour. The housekeeper tour is the one that takes you down into the basement. It takes you to the heat room, the power room, and it takes you in these back staircases that only the help used. You know, the hidden staircases and stuff. So it's pretty cool. And then you also get to see rooms that that they haven't restored yet, right? Like a lot of these rooms have just been sitting there just decaying for like 70 years. And like you'll walk by and they have the door open to the room and like the wallpaper and stuff is like peeling off of the walls. I mean, it's really kind of eerie. Okay, did I miss any? I believe Tartaria is how ancients build, but was somehow lost knowledge. Tartaria is a society that built all the great stone cities before the so-called modern age. But why do you think it's all Tartaria? See, like there's a bunch of old maps that state that there's Tartaria, but it doesn't say Tartaria over the whole thing. And there's nothing like, is there any, well, at least I haven't seen a one where it says Tartarian Empire and it covers most of the world. Like I've never seen that. But I'm still looking too. I'd like to see it. The day I was sitting in the NC Arbitorium, I looked down and saw the Freemason checkerboard. Mud flood. Telling someone to research Tartaria is like telling someone to research Flat Earth. You just don't know where they're gonna end up. Exactly! That's what I'm saying. Tartars are the largest minority. Tartaria means unexplored area. What do you mean? How do you mean Tartaria means unexplored area? What is that? I don't get it. You can get anything built if you have enough cash, right? The indoor pool is unsettling at the Biltmore. Yeah, I know. There's a picture of it right here. This is it. That's what it looks like. Yeah. And then there's people that go around saying that there's leather straps hanging off the side of the pool. No, there's not leather straps. These are ropes. Which, I mean, I don't know if that's any better, but it's just rope hanging down in here, and I don't know if that was just like because there's not really much of a shoulder here for people to grab onto. I think that was like, you know, like if you needed a rest, you would grab these ropes. But there's no leather straps there. I mean, like they're not gonna leave it like that if they did have that there. I mean, when you go in there, I mean, the only thing that really, okay, let me say this. When I first went to Biltmore, and I didn't know, this was 11 years ago, and I didn't know about the whole, like, Podesta, child trafficking, you know, that was not on my radar. So when I went there and I saw this pool, the indoor pool, I thought that it was like not a very glamorous indoor pool, but I didn't really think anything of it. Like I wasn't like, oh, what kind of horrible shit has happened here? You know, I didn't think that way. I was just like, oh, cool, an indoor pool. The whole thing's tile. Like, you know, for them back then to have an indoor pool, I think it was pretty cool, right? They thought it was cool. Like, you know, whatever. It's weird. But I wasn't thinking like that then. So did Tartaria replace Pangaea? Spicy Sarah, where's the meetup next month? Gonna be looking for something to do next month, says Media Bear. I know Dr. Law was wanting to do another meetup on the weekend of August 14th and 15th. For August 14th or 15th, 13th, 14th. 13th. That Saturday is August 13th. And Sunday's the 14th. So I know Dr. Law did message me about that. Media Bear, if you're wanting to join us. The Vanderbilts are not struggling to raise money for new wallpaper. I know, but they just haven't restored every room. There's like 250 rooms in that place. And they only, you know, they don't let you just go wherever. They have all like a certain part of it restored, like the main bedroom of the, you know, like these rooms and stuff are all restored. There's like a dining room. I mean, you know, the main areas are, and some of the, like the birthing room, there's a room where the woman, Mom Vanderbilt, used to go to have all her babies. So there's like a birthing room with like the baby stuff in there. There's a bunch of really cool fireplaces. Yeah, sub basement. Let's see. I hate Pinterest. Go away. Anyway, yeah. Can't skate that pool, so what's the point? I think... What is it? Where did I missed it? Oh, this chat. Tartaria is now a name for a field of research into the past. That is connotation to it, not an area or people of culture. But it was an area. That's what I'm saying. And then they're like, what amazed me was they had air conditioning there. Yeah. Oh, Saturday? Oh, the flea market Saturday. August 27th, US 1 Metro Flea Market. Meet up with Flat Fellow and everybody else. Dr. Law, Fun Food, Flat Smacking, Fellowship, all are welcome. Yeah, Cecil's. The Cecil family is the family that runs it now. And people lived in it up until the 60s. People lived in the Biltmore house up until the 60s. Isn't that a trip? And then they moved out of it and they started restoring it and opened it to the public. Tartaria is just another word for what the fuck else history lied about star forts. WTF. Yeah, I know. But that... Well, Cammy and I have decided to move to Tartaria. Well, anyway, I just find it, I just feel like when you tell people to research Tartaria, like, I mean, it doesn't, like, when I hear most people talking about Tartaria, I think they're talking about, like, lost history, hidden antiquitech, blah, 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 but, you know, or things unknown, basically the lies of history, but I just feel like Tartaria is the worst freaking word for it. Because if you actually research Tartaria, you don't really see anything about any of that stuff. Ancient maps designated that area of Mongolia as Tartaria because it's incredibly difficult to explore because of the many rivers and harsh terrain. Right. Anyway, hold on one sec. One second. All right. I just had to open my phone line because I realized I hadn't done that yet. So I do have a call-in number. It's 848-222-2480 if anybody would like to call in. And, you know, maybe give me your opinion about what the hell Tartaria is supposed to be. Can we get this straight? Because I feel like when I try to talk about one thing, it gets turned into Tartaria, and I'm not freaking talking about Tartaria. Do you have two Aston mics right there? Yes. Tartaria is being used as a broad term to describe the past that we simply don't have much info on. Kind of useless term at this point. Getting up with your girlfriend? Yeah. Tartaria was the high-functioning society before the deluge. Always on punk rock time. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I don't think I went onto Facebook to share this stream, so let me go do that real quick. Sorry, you guys. Why can't I pin my post? Oh my goodness. All right, well, I hate Facebook. All right, that's done. Sorry about that. I apologize. All right. Karen, okay, let me go back to chat and see what you guys are saying. I'm sorry. Karen B, ancient maps. Yeah. I'll stay in reality, Bob. Tartarus. Mongolia is huge and half the population lives in the capital. The rest are mostly nomadic. Northern Mongolia is empty. I think there is all kinds of hidden history to discover, but I don't think it's all Tartarian. Exactly! That's my point! Let's have a bonfire meetup on Saturday, August 13th at your place. Let's say from 3 p.m. until question mark. Let me know if it's good for you and we can plan for it. Hi, Ben! Hail! All this talk of Tartaria is making me hungry for fish sticks. Mongolia wasn't a standalone country in 2017. Mandela affected to be unannexed from China. This is why China used to be so much larger in our memory prior to 2018. China equals USA in size. I do remember China being huge. Oh, how big is it now? I haven't looked. Oh man, Daryl, that came in hard, didn't it? Freaking 50 degrees 2 weeks ago, really? Persian history is some of the most hidden, in my opinion. Yeah. Grounded extracts. Hello. Tartaria is where one sock goes. Seriously, what is Tartaria? Let's see if we just go into the search bar and type in Tartaria, what do we get? History of yesterday, mystery of an empire lost in history. Let's see what Sheeplepedia says, okay? Let's see. Sheeplepedia. Tartary. Tartaria, Tartary, Tartarai, blah bitty blah. Tartary is a blanket term used in Western European literature and cartography for a vast part of Asia bounded by the Caspian Sea and the Ural Mountains and the Pacific Ocean and the northern borders of China, India, Persia. At a time when this region was largely unknown to European geographers, the active use of the toponym can be traced from the 13th to the 19th centuries. In European sources, Tartary became the most common name for Central Asia and had no connection with the real politics or ethnic groups of the region until the 19th century. European knowledge of the area remained extremely scarce and fragmentary. In modern English-speaking tradition, the region formerly known as Tartary is usually called Inner or Central Eurasia. Much of this area consists of arid plains, the main population of which in the past was engaged in animal husbandry. Ignorance surrounding the Tartary's use as a place name has spawned fantastic theories, including ideas of a hidden past and mud floods. Wow, you guys made it to Sheeplepedia. Hey, very good. Such theories assert that Tartary or Tartaria was a lost civilization with advanced technology and culture. This ignores the well-documented history of Asia, which Tartary refers to. In the present day, the Tartary region covers a region spanning from central Afghanistan to northern Kazakhstan, as well as areas in present Mongolia, China, and Russian Far East and Chinese Tartary. Chinese Tartary. There is a city in China called Tartar City, and that's where the hidden palace or the forbidden city or the forbidden palace is inside Tartar City in China. What the fuck are they talking about? Guns were heroes in some of the sagas. We were very aware of Asia. Hi, Free Flow. Has coded another reset in 2040. 130 year interesting information. Okay, well, Effie Viking, I have a problem with that because that's predicting the future, and I don't believe anybody can predict the future. And I would be very wary of people who are saying that they're predicting the future and when they know something is going to happen. That's divination, and that is what real witchcraft is. And not that to each their own. You guys could do whatever you want. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you what to do, but I have a problem with that for those reasons. That's just my opinion. Certainly open to an interpretation. We do need more accurate term to describe the matching architectural style throughout the plain. But what matching architectural style? Are you talking about the cathedrals? The stone cathedrals? Because every time a different country builds these cathedrals, they usually put their own artwork on it or their own spin on it. What do you mean by matching architectural style? Because I see a lot of different type of architectural styles when I look at these things. Like when I see something, I can tell that it's Russian versus whether it's English Gothic versus whether it's Roman. Oh, look it. Are you talking to me, Joey Bustamante? You haven't checked the info, obviously. What info? That's what I get. That's what I don't get. Like, a lot of this stuff can't even be verified independently. How cool is the moon mirror theory? Let's study the moon map. You know what? I did have a thing where I was going to try to recreate the moon map from my own picture of the moon to show you how subjective that moon map is and how I just don't buy the moon map. I think it's an extreme reach. Well, a lot of them they're using the same texture. They're using those there's arches, right? They're also using the golden ratio. So yeah, they're gonna look similar. And also they're mimicking these different buildings, right? They all want to have their own cathedral, and they're all in the shape of a cross. You know, all cathedrals are built in the shape of a cross. There's like a formula for building a cathedral. Yeah. There's Tartaria on the moon. So anyway, let me see if I still have that stuff that I was looking up for Tartaria. Hold on. I mean, I personally haven't seen. Let's see. This map. It says Chinese Chinese Tartar. Chinese and independent Tartary. Okay, so here's one. I did find it, by the way, that folder. Great Tartary JPEG. So this is Kremenea. This is extremely hard to read, but I'm trying to figure out. So here it says Greco, Asia. Europa. Norvegia, Norway. I wonder if I can open this in Photoshop and see better. Let's see. It is so hard to read. Yeah, and then you zoom in and there's no... From the original existing in the convent of St. Michael at Murano, made by Fray Moro. This copy was taken by Fraser 1804. From 1459. This map is supposed to be. on. Let's see if I can add. Oh, Photoshop. Add source. Show. Photoshop. Boom. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Sorry. So you can see what I'm seeing, but this is not the highest res. I mean, there's a bunch of teeny tiny writing on here. You know what would be really great is if I could find a site that has this map scanned in, so you like an archive site where you can buy copies of it, and they'll usually have like a little tool where you can scan way in and look at these texts and be able to read them. People say educate yourself, read books. Every news story was written first. Just because you put the effort into buying a book and reading it does not make it true. The words are bullshit. It could be, Rachel. It could be. Because I know there's people like who wrote books about Tartaria already. Like Jamie Lee wrote that book about Tartaria, and then Iwaranon's been ripping it apart in his videos. Retardia is the place where the ones that are left behind reside. Wow, Cammy, I didn't know that. Explain the architecture off the tiny islands of New Zealand and tell me they're not Russian. Well, Daryl, give me a link and I'll look at it. Let's look at it. You have a wrench? Put a link in the chat. Yeah, they do. A lot of these old maps have like sea monsters in them and stuff. But what I'm trying to do basically is figure out how this relates to modern map. Okay, so here's Egypt, Africa. So this is Egypt and North. I feel like this is reversed. Right? This is weird. Is this supposed to be Italy? This boot, and then Sicily? Mediterranean. Okay, see, this is the Mediterranean. Look at this, is like reversed, or is it upside down? Actually, here, let me do this. I think I know how to get orientated here. So, trying to rotate the map. Oh, here we go. Where's the background? Oh, that's why I can't do it. All right, here we go. So, this is how I'm used to looking at it. It's upside down. Okay, so here's the Mediterranean, North Africa, Egypt. Okay, so they have it orientated the reverse way. So, Tartary, yeah, so it's still showing Tartaria as the same section. Basically, it's going over here into Russia, Eastern Europe, towards China. It just looks absolutely nothing like other maps. So the Mediterranean part kind of does. So there. I mean, look at the shape of Africa. What is this? Bunch of little islands out here. That's funny. Are these little islands or what are these? I can't tell. Anyway. So there's that. Let me turn that off for a second. Alright. Anyway. Oh, JM is here. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Good morning, Karen. How are you on this fine morning?
I'm doing quite well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I just thought I'd give you really quick to start off with. My extensive knowledge of Tartaria comes from the Chief Crow song, Airship.
Oh, okay.
That's the extent of my Tartaria knowledge.
Oh. So what's going on? What do you want to know? What do you want? Did you really want to talk about Tartaria or something else?
No. That's why I brought up the, Chief Crow song, because that's about the extent I've heard of Tartaria, really, is the Chief Crow song. But I had some interesting things happen this weekend I wanted to share with you.
Mm-hmm.
I actually ran into a living, live Biden supporter this weekend.
Oh, really?
It was frightening. I know everybody may find this hard to believe, but it was in a Walmart. I know that's crazy, but yes, there was one in a Walmart, and she worked there.
Okay.
And the reason I was talking with her is because I was trying to find something, and something came up, and then she started going off on, the politics stuff, and I kept looking at her, and I'm like, you understand they're actors, right? They're just playing a role, right? And she goes, well, yeah, that guy Trump, that criminal Trump. I'm like, yeah, he's an actor. So is the guy they have in there now, the guy they had before him, and before him. Well, no, you don't understand. Have you not been watching the January 6th trial? I'm like, huh? She couldn't. It was amazing. She couldn't get it because I kept going back to her for the few minutes I was talking to her, and I'm like, they're just playing roles. Remember the last guy? It got everybody on one side all riled up and angry, and they had a list of things he was a bad guy for. Yeah, he was. He's a criminal. I've been watching the trial. I said, well, the other side has the same thing now with the guy that's in there now. Do you not see what's happening? She couldn't put the two and two together.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of clueless people in the world, unfortunately.
I am very grateful that I've found the group of people like us that can actually think and you can actually sit down and have intelligent conversations with. It's very, very nice. And I've been meeting more and more of people out in public. Like I met a guy this weekend out walking my dogs on the Riverwalk, and we got to talking and just started talking about some things. And we even got into some NASA stuff. And he goes, really? Tell me more about the moon. And I was like, just get on your phone right now and look up NASA footage of the lunar lander taking off. I said, if you think that's anything but a plastic model with sparklers, then you're smoking the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
He starts laughing, and Oh yeah, we exchanged numbers. He's like, "Hey man, give me a call. We need to sit down and have a beer and talk some conspiracy." And he starts laughing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he wasn't, being insulting. So
Well, that's good.
yeah.
That's good. I think
But I've
people
got
are starting to
another
be more open.
interesting. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just said I think people are starting to be a little bit more open. Seems like here lately.
Well, I think the lies are falling down around them. I mean, because I really honestly think. I mean, I may be completely wrong, but I think the powers that are running this show have tried to force this stuff too quickly. They've tried to push just a completely change of everything too rapidly, and it's causing the people that were asleep to just open their eyes and see. Fortunately, people like us were starting to see this, some of us, over 10 years ago on what's going on, and open our eyes and start understanding. And now the script that they're running has gotten so bad that even the quote-unquote normies are going, none of this makes sense anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Well.
I mean, it's a good thing is there's becoming more and more of us, and I think if we just keep talking one-on-one to people out when we meet, don't try to shove anything down their throat, but you can tell pretty quickly when you're having a conversation with somebody if their mind is open.
Yeah.
It's like that lady at the Walmart. There was no way that lady's mind was anywhere other than the script that her TV screen tells her every night to run.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. But here's an interesting lady you might want to look up. Her name is Dr. Deborah Leah Brix. And that's Birx.
I've heard that name before. Why have I heard that name before?
Well, she's one of the doctors that was part of the whole COVID scam.
Okay.
Yeah. She was in charge under the last actor that was in office, and she's already admitted now. You can find the video of her admitting this. She's got a book too. Don't forget her book. It's in her book as well. That she purposefully cherry-picked the data she wanted to initiate the lockdowns.
Yeah.
Just went through and cherry-picked it. No problem.
Of course. The lockdowns are a scam from beginning to end.
Yeah. And now she's also admitting that, well, over 50% of the people that are dying, from the dreaded COVID, well, they're vaccinated and boosted. That's kind of bizarre, don't you think?
No.
Now, I do have a family member who passed away over the weekend, at the beginning of the weekend, actually. Family as in by marriage, not by blood. But she was only 44. She worked for UPS. And if you know anything about UPS, they were a big proponent for the wonderful Jabba Jabba Do.
Right. A lot of companies were.
Waiting on the autopsy. Yeah. Her mother came over and found her just dead on the floor.
Ooh. That's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, holy crap. But yeah, I'm waiting on the autopsy. I'm trying to be, careful with the family members who are actually, related, with her before I start asking, probing questions like, hey, was she jabbed? Was she, So I'm waiting for the autopsy to come back.
That's crazy.
But yeah, there's more and more people dying. little heart issues and stuff going on. Just no big deal. It's it's the SADS going on, Karen.
Right. The SADS. Ridiculous. I know.
I keep asking people, I'm like, have you heard about SADS? And they're like, what are you talking about? And they're like, sudden adult death syndrome? I'm like, yeah, that's something new that's come up. Really? I'm like, yeah, it's from the vaccines. The same thing that started SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, well, yeah, that's caused from vaccines? Yes.
Yep. Just like that's what SIDS is from. Pumping those delicate little babies full of poison.
But people like us, and I bring that up all the time with my 19-year-old son. I'm like, this is when I stopped vaccinating him. After he turned 2, no more of that crap when it was time for the 3-year vaccinations. His health all improved. Everything got better. The kid's never sick.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You don't pump them full of poison. You don't have anything to worry about.
And your younger children, they're not, you had the vaccinations in the beginning, but then when you opened your eyes and saw what was going on, you stopped vaccinating your younger children as well, too, didn't you, Karen?
Oh, yeah. As soon as I figured it out, as soon as I read all the ingredients and what was in there, I think this was like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, probably 7 years ago now. That's when I was like, oh, hell no, not another shot, not another freaking shot. So I was like already up on what was going on with those things. And I had already, stopped. They were already even going to public school when they were still in public school without being vaccinated because I was already out on it. I was like, nope, no more, never again, never, ever, 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 ever. And then when they started telling everybody to get 4 shots for the flu, oh my God, dude. I mean, we all know that story now. We all had to live through that BS. But yeah, I was very well prepared.
Did you get a bunch of crap from the school about not vaccinating your kids, and then other people would tell you, "Oh, you have to vaccinate your children. It's the law." I'm like, really? Strange. That's strange. My son's been going to public school since he was friggin' when he started kindergarten without vaccines because I had the friggin' paperwork. You just have to get a paperwork from the state, at least the state I'm in, and you got to get it filled out every period, every so often, and it has a raised seal on it and has to be done in front of a notary. You just take it into the school. Nothing they can say about it. Not a damn thing.
I didn't even have to get anything notarized in my state. I didn't even have to do that. All I had to do was sign a paper with the school saying that they were not responsible for my child getting sick. And I was like, okay, I'm responsible for my child anyway. That's my child, not your child. So I was completely fine signing that paper to relieve them, absolve them of all responsibility, right? And then I went to the pediatrician, and I stopped getting them. And they were like, "Oh, we're due for such and such shots today." I was like, "Yeah, that's not happening, and they're never getting any more." And so then they handed me a sheet of paper that says, "Okay, we'll sign this sheet of paper." But I sat there and I read the paper, what it said, right? I read all these things before you sign them, because some of them they're making you agree that you're doing something bad. Like basically the one from the doctor, it's like, you understand that your child could incur serious harm, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's ridiculous, the thing that the doctor wants you to sign when you don't get your children vaccinated anymore. But I looked at the nurse and I was like, well, what if I don't want to sign this? Because I wasn't going to sign a sheet of paper that I was willfully hurting my child by not vaccinating them. Like, no. And she's like, okay, well, I'll just put in your chart that you don't want to sign it. And I said, okay, I'm not signing it. And that was it. That was literally it. And then she felt like she had to tell me that, we don't not see children because they're not vaccinated. So you continue to come here and it's cool, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, and that part had never even crossed my mind, that they might possibly not even want to offer healthcare to my children because they weren't vaccinated, but they were cool about it. They were like, oh yeah, it's fine. And that was it. That was literally it. but it's going to be different for every state. Like, I'm pretty sure I have a friend in California, her daughter does have these adverse reactions from the vaccines, but they will not let her not get like certain ones. Like, it is so screwed up. And I'm glad I don't have to deal with that situation, because I don't know how it would happen. But, yeah. But that girl's not a flat earther. She's not as staunchly against the stuff as, as like I am. That it is what it is, I guess.
I'm going to take a wild guess, Karen, and go, I bet both of you have 2 children that, you quit vaccinating, right? I bet both of them are perfectly healthy, aren't they? And probably barely ever really have to go to the doctor, do they?
Yeah, they're fine. They're healthy. They hardly ever get sick. Yeah, they're doing great. Haven't had any major problems.
Yeah.
No.
The only thing really the doctor's needed for is if an emergency comes up for something. I mean, it's just, like I said, I've saved a ton of money not having to go to the doctor after I stopped vaccinating my son years ago.
Yeah.
Because he just never got sick.
Yeah.
Never any reason to need to go unless there was an injury.
Yeah.
It's just kind of what the doctors are supposed to be. Okay, here's an injury, put it back together, or let it heal, and okay, you're fine.
Yeah, precisely.
That insanity. So, but yeah, I wanted to bring up that lady too, that wonderful doctor who's just out there now, even got a book about admitting all her crimes, and I'm sitting here going, I'm wondering when we're going to stand up and go, no, these son of a bitches need to be put on trial immediately. The Faucis and these other so-called doctors up there with this insanity.
Yeah, exactly.
But at least there's more and more like us starting to homeschool and starting to do those things that are getting our children away from the system. And I think there's some change happening, because there's a whole lot more normies getting involved in the school districts now going, hey, wait a minute, you're not teaching this nonsense. You're not doing these things. These are our kids. This is what we're allowing. This is what we're not allowing. And get back, hopefully a lot of the schools, at least where I'm at, seem to really starting to stay in the whole thing of, hey, we're here to educate the kids. That's what we're here for. That's it,
Mm-hmm.
Stopping this nonsense. But we'll see as they keep pushing, the quote-unquote illness going around.
Right, exactly.
Because you're going to need to get your monkeypox vaccine, Karen. You understand that, right?
Right.
You don't want to get the monkeypox, do you?
No Despair Bear says you're trying to get my stream shut down.
Oh, I apologize. No, what's up, No Despair Bear? It's been many a moon since I've chatted with you, brother. I was talking about the mostly safe and effective.
Right.
Well, as always, Karen, thank you very much. Howdy to everybody in the chat. What's up, No Despair Bear? Hopefully to see you in October.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
With all those other crazy people at that Flat-Tober Fest, thinking, this Earth isn't a magical spinning ball hurtling around in circles going thousands of miles an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy people. Crazy.
Yes. All right, well, thanks for calling, JM.
Thanks, Karen. Appreciate you. Bye.
Bye. We owe California and Nevada gyms notice for resistance to mandate a pocket of sanity. Stoked for flat karaoke? Hey. My daughter almost died from the MMR2 vaccine when she was 3. She got a crazy autoimmune disorder from it and was in ICU for 2 weeks. The nurses told us it was from the vax, but the doctors didn't. Wow. Yeah. The MMR one is the one my friend's daughter had a bad reaction to. Real bad. Last flu shot I had about 5-6 years ago left an injection mark for over a year, and over 2 years I had a white hot pain in my right leg while standing. That's crazy, Media Bear. You know, when and then also whenever I went to go see the Deftones, and Ted and I were hanging out with Steph and we were having dinner, we were talking about this stuff. Like Steph had issues with the yellow fever shot. They had to go to South America, and they were in Venezuela, and it was like they wouldn't let him leave. They wouldn't let him leave without getting the shot, and it messed him up for months afterwards. For months. And then that's when he was like, never again. I'm not getting any shots ever again. And then yeah. So that's why he didn't go on these other tours. Like, though he hasn't been touring outside of the US with the band. They went to Europe, and they had a substitute guitar player because Stefan was like, I ain't playing this game anymore. And and I don't blame him. Could you imagine being in a foreign country like Venezuela, and they're like, yeah, you can't leave unless you let us inject you. They're like, what? Are you kidding? I mean, really? Didn't they make it an emergency? Is it a July 23rd? Who declares monkeypox? Hold on. Let me put this over here. Who declares monkeypox a public health oh, I lost my window. There we go. Public health emergency of international concern. Who's this person?
What can be done to stop these catastrophic wildfires? United Shades of America with W. Kamau Bell, Sunday at 10 on CNN.
Yeah.
It started off with just a few lesions. I got intense flu-like symptoms. As the flu symptoms abated, the lesions, well, A, more of them started to appear, and B, they became, at worst, excruciatingly painful, and at best, mildly irritating.
Knowing exactly what it feels like to have monkeypox, Matt Ford has taken to social media to now warn people about the virus.
This sucks and you don't want it.
I've got these on my arms.
But now his frustration is that even as awareness grows, those who need it might have a hard time finding a vaccine. Jynneos monkeypox vaccine has been rolling out slowly.
We got an allotment of 200 vaccines, and the appointments for that went in about an hour and a half.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams has reached out to the White House to underscore his state of the doses, so more first doses could be administered immediately.
And of course, this
right
is
now,
a multiple
the
dose
CDC recommends the vaccine
too, right?
for high-risk individuals, people who have been diagnosed with or exposed to monkeypox, and people who are at higher risk of being exposed to monkeypox.
Because we know that vaccinating people may not necessarily prevent the infection, but it will certainly decrease the severity of disease.
The CDC estimates this vaccine
Always
is
the
at
same
least
bullshit story with
85%
these
effective.
assholes.
Giving it within 4 days of exposure
it'll
is
decrease
best
the
to
severity
prevent
of the
onset
disease.
And even if given within 14 days of exposure, it may
How about you
still
just don't
reduce
get it
the
and then you don't
symptoms.
get it at
I'm
all?
looking at something that I've never seen before as a doctor. I want to introduce you to Koi. She's 22 years old, and what she has is an active case of monkeypox.
But this is not necessarily what monkeypox always looks like. For Matt Ford, the lesions started smaller and not as obvious.
I maybe would have suspected that they were like herpes simplex.
Doesn't even look like the
Reported
same
in
thing.
men who have sex with men. But
Whoa,
expert officials are
what?
sounding the loudest alarms in the LGBTQ community. That's due to most cases being reported in men who have sex with men. But
See, does this sound familiar? Does this sound familiar to anybody else? Does it sound familiar to anybody else? I mean, come on. This is the same type of crap they used to push with the HIV. Exactly, Anita. Hey Marty, good to see you. Yes, I had issues with the yellow fever shot in Argentina. Got severe tinnitus. Yes, tendonitis, and ended my chosen career. Wow. Yeah, see, Stefan had problems. I forget what he said that he had problems with. I will have to ask him again. But when he described it to me, I was like, dude, really? And he said, yeah, for months. Why is everyone wearing masks again? Because the WHO has declared monkeypox a state of emergency again, a international emergency, and I noticed yesterday, like Ted and I we went out and shopping and stuff, and there were more people wearing masks again. Yes, there's more people, and it's obvious, like you can tell as soon as I heard through the grapevine that this happened, that the WHO declared the monkeypox emergency, I was like, great. And then you go out and you can see people wearing the masks again. And they think that stupid mask is going to keep them from getting that stupid fake disease. I'm probably not going to be able to keep this episode up on YouTube. I'm probably going to have to... I think I might have to delete this episode of Coffee Talk off of YouTube after this, so, yeah. Probably you guys are gonna have to just, go check that out on, Twitch after the fact, or whatever, if you care to. Yeah, exactly. They use the fake PCR with the HIV. You know, and of course, who's going to have these exhibit, you know, and then people are going to go get these magic shots, and then they're going to exhibit these symptoms. They're going to express, their body's going to start detoxing, and it's going to express itself in that certain way. It's just, you know, what I think, or how do we know that this wasn't in the original jibby jab, right? This monkeypox thing was in the original jibby jab, and now people are starting to detox from that jibby jab, right? In this way, and then when their body detoxes from that one, this is what it looks like. It looks like a reaction. It's probably what it is. This is probably one of their reactions that they know is a side effect of the original jibby jab, and they're just turning it into another pandemic. And it's like, and then if people keep going in and getting these stupid injections, they can just keep this shit going over and over and over until you are all like, just like these weird pseudomorph, like genetically modified, weird, inhuman humans walking around like, I don't even want to know. Honestly, in my mind, it really scares me to think about what it will look like in the future, like 10 years in the future. Think about this. What do you think it will look like 10 years in the future if they keep doing this? Like every couple of years, they keep doing a new cycle of these shots, right? But what they're giving you the shot for was in the shot the previous year, right? They could just keep this shit going indefinitely, and everybody will just keep on going those and getting those injections. It's listed under the side of the vaccine as a side effect as a type of herpes. Yeah, exactly. Hey Karen. and advance on our covariant. You know, Music Guru, if I could, Rose is so busy with crow stuff. Do you know how hard it is for me and her to get together and record? Like, both of us really want to do that still, and we just haven't gotten together and done it. I feel like Tartaria means there's evidence of another civilization and nothing more or nothing less. I mean, there's evidence of lots of other civilizations that may not be very useful in everyday life. And an outbreak in the shingles, yes, that too. All of that stuff is in these, all those toxins that are triggering those outbreaks are in the thing. You think the shit that's in the jibby jabs are being administered to us in other ways too? It's possible. How would you feel about a mechanic who went around at night sabotaging cars because business was slow? Ha! I read this weekend that China and Russia started a new currency backed by precious metals. Really? That's interesting, because I know Russia's been selling oil in rubles. Night State says I can't choose a natural weed, so I'm sure not getting an unknown Pokemon from the government. But you know what? Children getting injections is a normal thing. It already is. It already is. And that's the scary part. People think it's normal. A gold-backed crypto. That's fascinating. Our currency to precious metals. And the housing market's going back down. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Like, I've been watching the housing prices and I've been looking at houses a lot. I actually posted one house that was for sale in my town. But a lot of these houses now that I'm watching, they're reducing prices again because the prices on housing went up way too fast. So, you know. Who cares? Yeah. Similar to smallpox, but clinically less severe. Yeah, this is ridiculous, right? Get out of here with that garbage. Can you guys please just leave us alone? Just get out of here with your stupid garbage. Your viruses that aren't even alive. Okay, that can't even prove to be contagious. I mean, it's just ridiculous anymore. Just leave us alone. Yeah. Yeah, the lumber prices are going back down again too. Which is good, right? It, you know, because stuff went up crazy fast. Like, crazy fast. Over it. Fear factor. Yeah. Funny how they're trying to push monkeypox during a tiger year. Monkey and tigers are enemies in Chinese New Year. Oh, really? Interesting. I know. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hey, what's up, Karen? How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Pretty good. Good to talk to you again. Just wanted to touch on a few things real quick. Do you remember that news story about those monkeys that were like released? Remember from that van? They were like, I guess they like escaped or whatever, and they were like trying to capture them all back up. I think it happened in like Pennsylvania or something like that.
No, I don't.
You don't remember that?
No.
Oh, it was crazy. It was like, well, it happened, I don't know, I want to say maybe about 6 months ago or so, I'm guessing. But it was like all these monkeys, like they got out on a road somewhere. I'm sure you could bring it up real quick on the internet, probably. I mean, I don't imagine it would be too tough to find. But I just think that maybe, given what we're dealing with now with the whole new, this new quote-unquote emergency now with the monkeypox strain or whatever, maybe was that some kind of, now I think back to that and I wonder if that wasn't some kind of, foreshadowing of what we're dealing with now, because it seems like they're going to use this as a whole nother surge of, propaganda and stuff.
Possibly. I can't find anything. I only typed in loose monkeys.
Oh, really?
Oh, monkeys loose in PA. Let me see. Monkeys on the loose in Pennsylvania after a truck crash.
Yeah, like monkeys on the road. Does anyone in the chat know what I'm talking about? If you're in the chat and you know what I'm talking about, like, let us know, because I remember it was a pretty big story. I imagine people would know what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah, that was just one thing. And then another thing I wanted to mention was the other caller was talking about Deborah Burks or whatever. She knew that this solution that they recommend so much wasn't actually going to stop infection. And it was reported that she knew that, basically all along, yet she was still out there basically saying the exact opposite. So it's like, I don't know, I just find that mind-blowing that they can basically know one thing and then tell everybody else the exact opposite, and that, that's like business as usual, So shows you what we're dealing with. But yet people believe it, people are still going to believe it. People are still going to pledge allegiance. And it's like pledging allegiance, Brian, I know he talks about, he's exactly right. They propagandize us with the patriotism. And it's like, we all should like examine for ourselves, like, what are we pledging allegiance to? Because a lot of people are pledging allegiance to, science or their whatever, they might not feel, and they got us all hooked on, dogma, basically, one dogma or another. And it almost doesn't matter what flavor the dogma comes in, as long as people are subscribing to something, because once they get you in that, then it's like your life becomes a script. It becomes a program almost. It becomes a scripted reality, and, they have a lot easier time directing it. And, I know some theories out there say, well, it's AIX or it's this or that. Maybe it is. I have no idea. That's a plausible theory, I guess. But I just find it interesting that they want us so much to be, and when I see them wanting us to do something, like, I automatically think, for me, like, I think I'll do the opposite, as much as possible, so it's like, if they want people in a certain box, I'm going to try to be outside of all the boxes.
Right.
To whatever degree that is. Yeah, and it doesn't mean like I have to like sacrifice who I am or anything, It's just the opposite. It's like I'm just more aware of what's going on, So I don't know. I think that's something that I think that this community is so good at, is being able to work on those things in a way that is, other people just simply are not even addressing or not even trying to do, So,
yeah.
Good.
All right.
Also, what's up? Oh,
nothing. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, or were you gonna go? That's fine.
No.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
No, I was just gonna see if I was just gonna ask you one thing. Have you heard of this like soul trap. I've been kind of studying like NDEs and stuff lately. Have you heard about this like soul trap reincarnation theory at all?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of it? Do you have any thoughts on that at all? Do you think it's stupid? Do you think there's some legitimacy to it?
Well, I don't know, because I've never been dead. Anything that happens, anything as far as what happens to us after we die is going to be speculation. You know, it's like, I don't know. I've heard about all these things. It's like, go towards the light. Well, that's your soul getting recycled back into the matrix. So you need to go away from that. You know, but the truth is, I don't know. I've never been dead. I've never died and came back. I have no idea.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm exactly on the same page as you, because it's just speculation, you know, and I agree completely. I find it, but I still find it interesting, you know, I'll listen to it.
It is interesting,
I just like to...
But, you know, that stuff,
I look into all things, you know.
That's kind of a dangerous thing, too, in my opinion. Like, what if you're wrong? What if all these people who go around telling everybody, don't go towards the light, what if you're wrong? What if you're wrong and you're telling all these people to not go towards the light, and then they end up lost somewhere? Like, we don't know. You know what I mean? I feel like everybody should sort of look into that for themselves and sort of reconcile, like, within themselves what they think is going to happen. Or maybe it won't even be anything like that. Maybe when you actually do cross over back into the spirit realm, it is nothing like what you thought it was. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, you have to take it all at face value, because it's just somebody... It's like hearsay, you know? You can't use hearsay in a court of law. It's just someone's experience or opinion, you know? And so that's how you have to take it as, you know? You can't... I think it's so easy. We see with online media, it's like it's great because you have an access to so much more information, which is fantastic. But at the same time, it's like anybody can say anything, you know? So you really have to be careful not to, like, take everything as concrete fact. You know, you have to like take it as a theory, and that's good because we're here to think, and I think that's important. But you have to like do your research and follow it up and stuff. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I find it interesting, but I really think that like the more I look at society and the world, like it feels like I realize how much it really does feel like everything is like running according to like a script, like a program, you know. It just feels like so many people are running according to like a script or a program, and even people in my life or people in the world, really, more people in the world, you know, a lot of people in my life are really good people, and there's really good people out there. I mean, I'm not trying to put down people, but there's a lot of really crappy people too, and a lot of like NPCs, you know, people that are just like, you know, they want to be, it's almost like they want to be controlled, or they want to be plugged in, you know, they want to be plugged into the matrix. And it's like, yeah, I'm just waking up to the realization of how much more that we live in a literal matrix. At least it seems that way, it feels that way, anyway. And that, you know, like I said, it could be totally different. Absolutely. But it feels like, it just seems like we're just totally in this like lockdown matrix so much. And it's like, I don't know, it's like, it feels like it's going to take some massive code-breaking hackers to, like, bust the thing open or whatever, you know? I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But, anyway, it seems that way. But it's interesting. It is a fascinating existence, at least.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
Cool.
Well, thanks for taking my call, Karen, and have a good day.
Yeah, thank you.
Talk to you again later.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, that's interesting. Happy 11/11. Oh, it's almost 11/11. It's 11:10. Globe Earthers who refuse to think for themselves. Pretty much. Rune, I was fatally shot in 1989 and died then came back on the operating table, and yes, you go to the light. It was warm and comfortable, no fear whatsoever. I saw my life flash before me. Wow, Rune. 11:11. Now it's 11:11. Now it is. Let's see. 11:11. It's 11:11. Spirits. It's 11:11. New resonate, beginning, reflect, visualize. That's what's up. Soak it up. 11:11. Spirit listens, knows more than we do. Visions. Yeah, manifest those visions. Manifest those visions. That's what's up. And for those who wish to send me stuff through... Do you like that? I like that. Hello, Outer Ponds Philosophy. Yes, we are all responsible for ourselves. 100%, Gregory, I agree. No matter what truths we are all into, I think we can agree the best thing for us is separate from that toxic matrix and its minions as much as possible. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, now, and actually that last caller just had me thinking about using the word matrix, like in the negative connotation. Matrix means womb, doesn't it? Let's look at the etymology of matrix. The womb. Now, of course, it's showing me the movie, but a situation or surrounding substance within which something else originates, develops, or is contained, such as like crystals grow in a matrix. The womb. The formative cells or tissue of a specialized structure such as hair, nail, claw, or tooth. So, what's a good etymology site? Does anybody know of an etymology site better than Etymology Online? Because this is always the one that comes up, but I just wonder if there's any other that anybody else suggests. Late 14th century, matris, uterus, womb, directly from the Latin matrix, generative, matrices, pregnant animal, entries linking to matrix mother. So the earth sort of is a matrix. If you look at that definition, the earth is a matrix, and living in that matrix isn't so bad. What's bad is the false matrix. The false matrix that has been laid over the real matrix so that you don't, see the real matrix. There's the false matrix. It's the beast system. I like to refer to it as the beast system rather than getting out of the matrix. Because the matrix is here to be around us, right? It's here to care for us, to nurture us, to give us everything we need. So why would you want to get out of that? It's like saying I want to go to space. I want to go to Mars, where the habitat is completely, if it was a real place, the habitat would be completely inhospitable and violent, and one wrong move you would die instantly. It's incredibly lonely and harsh, and it doesn't sound fun to me at all. So maybe, in that regard, I like the Matrix, but it's the beast system that I don't like. Yes. Rune says there was no fear and I saw all my friends and family and was nothing but inviting. Would have stayed if it was my choice, but it wasn't my time yet. That's very interesting, Rune. But see, Going live in 45, playing with the Tesla coil unless Karen runs longer. I hope to see you there. Ooh. I can't promise that I won't get distracted and go past noon, though. Good times for all. I'll try not to. Manifested my whole life around for the better. I was living in hell. Now my wife and I are creating a heaven on earth. Exactly. See, this is the secret. This is the secret. Is speaking things into existence, setting your intent, visualizing it in your mind, and just work. And then once you do that, once you set your energy and intent on your goal, then just subconsciously everything you do will be working towards that goal. Like everything, every little thing. And it will start to manifest for you. Absolutely. And, you know, and it's not talking about like, a lot of times when people, you talk to people about manifestation, they're like, oh, what do you just manifest a big stack of cash? No, it's not that. It's not about manifesting like material riches, like, it's not about that sort of manifestation. Okay, you can manifest material things, but it's not directly like that. Right? And it has to be in line with creation. It can't be coming from a place of greed or selfishness, because then it won't manifest for you. At least it won't manifest anywhere near as quickly. And you'll have to do a whole lot of horrible things to make that goal meet than if you had manifested in a way that was more in line with creation and was coming from a place of love and positivity and, was with the intent of giving as well as receiving. Scooter, I've been trying to reach you about Flattoberfest shirts. We need to talk about that. Are you still gonna print my Flattoberfest shirts? Because I want the gold ink again, but they're gonna be on black shirts this time. Black and gold. Dominatrix. Dominatrix. Alright. Oh, I just lost a caller. I was going to answer that, but Jen, you hung up. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hey, this is Kyle.
Hi, Kyle. How's it going?
Doing well. Yeah, you started talking about the Matrix, and then you can't help but think about the firmament when you're talking about that. That's kind of our boundary that's enclosing, that we're all enclosed in, and we're all growing within that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I started thinking about that, and then recently, Bob with Glowbusters, he was talking about a dream a reoccurring dream he's been having about flying up and looking up above him and seeing power lines up above his head and being worried about getting too close to the power lines. And it's like, oh, that's interesting. And yeah, I love analyzing dreams and stuff. So I never really had the chance to talk to him a whole lot about it. But yeah, it was just interesting. Thinking about that and about how the firmament is kind of a dangerous boundary above our head, and we're all kind of within this contained system. And it's interesting how, like, it's, we're made for this domain. This is our domain. And of course, what is, all the evil people want to do? Oh, well, we want to escape. That's the natural man, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all want to try and run away and get out of our pen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so we're not cattle. We're not really being, we're not here being harvested or anything like that. Well, it depends on the sleepy ones and whatnot. But those who are awake, we're not, this boundary is for our own protection as far as I'm aware. So it's all about learning to be happy within the realm that we were placed upon. This is your realm, and we've all been given our own duties within our realm, and it's interesting. And so, yeah, I love analyzing different dreams on that. Have you ever had any like kind of dreams concerning like the flat Earth or anything like that?
Oh yeah. Hi, Mark Sargent. Just giving Mark a little shout out. He was in chat. Yeah, I've definitely had some flat Earth dreams. I had a dream I've talked about quite a bit about the North Pole and about going and seeing the high black mountains in the north, and they were and it was like not cold, it was warm and like tropical, and it was neat, right? And you could see this high, big, like pointy black mountain that we were all kind of around in my dream, and I'm showing some pictures on screen right now. This is Ball's Pyramid, which is like this protuberance out in the ocean, like this mountain that sticks out of the ocean. It's not in the north or anything, but I like to use this image because this is kind of similar to what I saw in my dream, except it was in my dream it seemed much bigger and taller. If you read the text in the center of the North Pole maps, it talks about how the Black Mountains are 33 leagues tall. And then I went through this whole thing to find out how long was a league during the time that map was drawn, which is around the 1500s. And one league at that time is equal to a modern imperial mile. So they're saying that there's mountains in the center that are 33 miles tall. So anyway, I had a dream about that.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, I don't, and of course I can't.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it kind of, and it was one of those really super vivid dreams. Anyway, I've had that, and then like what you were talking about earlier with flying around in your dream and being around power lines, I've had a couple of dreams like that. It's not really a flat Earth dream, but I consider those more like lucid dreaming, maybe, or they could even be like astral traveling, because it was like, there was one dream I had where I was literally outside of my house in my neighborhood where I live, like in my area, right up here by the road, and it was nighttime, and I was like, oh, I want to fly around, and I just literally in my dream started flapping my arms like a bird and started flying around my neighborhood at night. And I remember being over the power lines, because there's a power line that goes along my property here, and I was above the power lines, and that was like really vivid. You know, was I doing that? I mean, I don't know. It sure seemed like it.
Yeah. When it comes to flying, Cammie said something the other day that really stood out to me, and she was talking about having your heart lighter than a feather. And it's like, wow, I wonder if that kind of relates to being able to fly in your dreams. It's kind of like a spiritual flight. And when I think of like the symbol of flight, I can see freedom. But recently it's been really standing out to me that this is attaining a higher perspective on life. Just kind of a higher point of view. And I recently had a dream about where I took like my chi in my hands. It's like my spiritual energy. I do Qigong. I went some Qigong and a Tai Chi class in college, and it's really interesting because I can actually feel like my spirit energy coming out of my hands, and I can I can hold it up to my daughter and say, hey, can you feel this? And she's like, wow, I can feel that. And like it's like a warmth that comes out of your hands, but it's also kind of like a magnetic repulsion or something like that, or attraction, depending on which way you kind of let the current flow, I guess you could say. But I was taking this spiritual energy in my hands, and I was using it to propel myself upward in my dream. And I saw a dragon way up ahead in the sky flying around. So I used this spiritual energy to fly up to this dragon, and I got a closer look, and the dragon was fake. It was man-made, just kind of this machine kind of flapping around. It was a little thing like the size of a kite or something like that. I was like, oh, wow, that's interesting. And then after that, I came down to the ground, and I started talking to people about it. And at first I thought, oh, that was just an interesting dream. Just, didn't think much of it until I decided to write the dream down. And as I wrote the dream down, I started paying attention to the different symbols that stood out to me. Okay, what could this dragon represent? What could this, going up and flying represent? And that's where I got the whole higher perspective point of view. And when I used this spiritual energy to get this higher point of view, that's when I realized, oh, wow, look, this is fake. You know, from down the ground, it looks real, but I come up higher, that's fake. And I was like, wow, that kind of reminds me a little bit of quite a few things. But that's what we do. We use our spiritual energy to get this higher perspective on life and realize what's real and what's fake. And then we come down and we talk about it. That's what we're doing right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
We make friends while doing so. I was like, wow, it's so fascinating. And I look back throughout my life, and I've had a lot of different dreams throughout my life that just kind of pointed the way for me, I guess you could say. Yeah, it's been fascinating. Yeah,
that is really interesting.
You're talking about kind of flying around your neighborhood, and I can see that. You're kind of getting that higher perspective, and there's that kind of a certain amount of freedom. And when we are feeling like we're able to do the things that we want to do, we're not being weighed down, and and we're kind of able to achieve our goals that way. And so, I can see the freedom aspect of it too, and kind of feeling, I think there's a kind of a certain amount of confidence that comes into play there as well when it comes to the flying dreams.
Yeah, for sure. Those are my favorite. They've always been my favorite.
Yeah. I was also kind of thinking about how, like, for me, like, I used to always just fly by, like, rotating my arms around exactly like you were describing. And this recent one was kind of channeling that energy into my hands. And it's like, and I was like, well, this kind of channeling into my hands, well, I end up doing a lot of typing when it comes to, like, making videos and stuff. And so hands can represent your work, the things that you do. And so kind of like there's this spiritual energy that's coming into the things that you're doing with your hands. And you end up using that to get this higher perspective on life. But I think one of the major things that really stood out to me was this whole, the power source, and how if we're not spiritually connected, then we're going to be out of power. Does that make sense? And so, that's a very essential thing. And otherwise we end up being blind like all the other globe earthers out there that haven't woken up to it yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I've definitely have a strong testimony of the power that comes when we write our dreams down and actually analyze them and focus on the different points of that stand out to us, like the different symbols. And there's a lot of messages that really come out really strong in our dreams.
Yeah. Do you do that? You keep a dream journal?
I try to. Yeah, I really try to. I've a lot of, like, the more significant ones I've done that. But the more I've done it, the more I've kind of learned to take the silly dreams, take them more seriously, because you don't know what that message could be. Does that make sense? Yeah. It could be something, I don't think anything of it. And then all of a sudden, you write it down and there's something there. So you almost wrote it off, but there's actually something there.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think that's one of our lost abilities is the ability to manipulate unseen forces with our mind. If that makes sense. Yeah. There's a lot of abilities and powers there. So, I've been thinking about this whole, like, qigong thing, and there's something there. There's an actual, like, force that comes out of your hands and everything when you do it right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there's, like, that guy who can light stuff on fire. Have you ever seen that? The guy who lights a piece of paper on fire in the palm of his hand?
I've heard, I've looked into that, and some people can use it really strong. Normally when it comes to, like, qigong, I first learned about it in a book my grandma was reading called Quantum Touch, and it was kind of the guy just focused on doing like a full body meditation where just kind of focusing on like the sensation, just kind of like if you just lightly brush like the tip of your finger like back and forth, and like you can feel the like a presence in your finger like after you're done touching it, and a kind of a residual presence there, and so you can kind of get this current building and kind of pushing it forward. And so you can actually do that, and you just start with your toes and then gradually work your way up, and then you go up into your hands, and then kind of focus on getting that, and then you're kind of building a snowball effect and kind of getting this current to go throughout your entire body and then out your hands, and then you're kind of circulating it around into a ball. And you can use this ball of energy that is, I don't know, I think it's like electric is the best way I could describe it. And so it's like, feels like magnets in your hands or something like that. And you can use that to actually like focus on different parts of your body, and like you can use it to get rid of headaches. You can use it to get rid of stomach aches, and just it's supposed to be like some kind of a rapid healing thing. If you fell down and hurt your knee, like a natural response you do is you just grab your knee and hold, put pressure on it with your hands. And so there's kind of like a natural instinct to try and put energy, channel energy into it from your hands. You don't even think about it, but that's what you're trying to do with your hands there when you apply pressure to it to try and kind of soothe it. And so it's interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if you're familiar, but I did do some, there was some CIA, some documents that were declassified under the FOIA Act from the CIA, and they had this whole thing with the Monroe Institute where they had this program called the Gateway Program, and I have a couple of videos on my channel. I'll show you guys right here. It's called the Gateway Program, and the link to the playlist is called the Gateway Stuff. And I talked about, there's 3 videos where I read these things, and I also...
Careful, someone might call you a gatekeeper.
I know, right? I already get called a gatekeeper. It's like part of my title. Anyway, so one of them is about Qigong, and it talks about all the observations that they had where they studied this guy who was a Qigong master, where they had put objects inside of a sealed plastic jar, and he literally removed the object, like it was a pill or something, from the plastic jar. Like they watched it go through the jar. Just crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Like there's a whole bunch of series of observations they did, and they documented with this guy. And another one was where he had taken a watch. Somebody volunteered to let him use their watch, and he pulled the hands of the watch out of the watch, without breaking the watch. Just crazy stuff like that.
That's some stuff I've never heard of before.
Yeah, it is really crazy. I mean, of course, I don't know if any of it's true, but I mean, it is interesting to read about. And then there's also this Gateway Intermediate book, which I've talked about too, where it tells you basically what the meditation is to sort of use this energy. It talks about resonant breathing exercises and all this stuff, and how to visualize the energy. And it also tells you different colors are for different parts of the body, like blue is nervous.
Like chakra. They talk about the different chakra colors.
Yeah, it's all the chakra colors, but in energy too, they also use white light.
Is the same thing.
But they also use white light too, because it's all the systems. Like white is in light. That when you see white light, that's like the full spectrum of light, right? All combined into one. So they tell you to use white light for all systems in the body, and like then you can visualize different colors to target different areas. Yeah, totally, all that. And then let me go down here. But even when it has a little drawing, like a little drawing, a diagram of how to visualize the energy. And when they talk about forming a bubble around you, it literally is like the shape of a torus field. They're telling you to visualize a giant torus field of energy around you without actually saying torus field. They call it an energy bubble, I think is what they call it. Yeah,
different people
resonant
have
energy balloon.
different names for the same thing, like chakra and chi, and so
yeah. So
yeah, it's fascinating stuff. The guy who was the founder of Quantum Touch, his claim to claim was using this energy to cure like scoliosis and like dramatically realign a person's back, and there's like pictures to it and stuff. And yeah, I've never been that great into it, but I have used it for different injuries and stuff, and it's been interesting. It's just that spiritual energy, and I believe in that. And there's like so much potential. And I look back at Christ, and he said, those who are followers, who believe in me, they shall do greater works than I have done. And so it's like, wow, you think about all of the miracles that Christ ever did, and just any of the prophets, and these and more you shall do. And so that tells me just how much potential we have as children of God right there. So but people are like, oh no, they don't want to see that aspect of it. And it's all about you're blessed in the dust of the earth, and there's nothing special about you. But no, that's completely that's completely the opposite of what is true.
Exactly.
Yeah, I had a pretty creepy dream the other day. I was my family ended up going on a camping trip, and I ended up staying home because I had to work. But while I was at home, I was just by myself, and it was like middle of the day, and I was just sleeping in the middle of the day, and I had a dream where a dark presence came over me and just completely bound me. I couldn't move at all, and my body was kind of acting against its will in my dream. I found myself walking down the street outside, and I wasn't scared or anything, but it was just kind of like, what's going on? I could barely even talk, and it wasn't until I started to just try and sing, I am a child of God, and I couldn't remember anything else to the rest of that song, but I am a child of God. And as I just did my best to just say that, I am a child of God, and so my needs are great. And as I said that, like, I was immediately released completely. And all of a sudden I found myself awake right there in my bed all by myself. And so I just kind of sang out, and I tried to, turn on some like church music and stuff, and just started to sing out just out loud. And then it got me thinking about how the Savior, some of his really powerful experiences in life was when he separated himself. He had his, in Australia they call them walkabouts, right? They go out and by themselves and have that time in isolation. And
right.
In that time of isolation, they have these really strong spiritual experiences. And that's what happened to Christ. And, that's when he was tempted, but, that was kind of a scary, significant moment for him. Maybe, I don't think he was really that scared of the adversary or anything like that, but he did stand up to him and said, no, I'm not going to do that. And as he conquered these temptations that came upon him, that's when the angels came and ministered unto him. And so it was a very fascinating experience, but that kind of got me thinking about that dream too, and I just had to share it.
Yeah, fascinating. Yeah. Well, anything else, Kyle?
No, that was it. Just having fun talking to you.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for calling. Always enjoy your calls.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
I love calling.
All right, cool. Talk to you later.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Bye.
All right, later.
Alrighty. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hey, Karen, it's Tristan.
Hi, Tristan.
How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Not much. I was just chiming in. I love the talk of Qigong and manifestation, so I just wanted to participate and say hi and talk about my experience with making a medicine drum.
Okay.
And the power of manifestation. I went to a workshop making a drum, and I didn't have like a serious intent when I went into the workshop. It was more of like an ego driven, I want to drum and make a connection with this animal. So what ended up happening was I get home that night and my dog got hit by a porcupine with like 300 plus quills.
Oof.
And it really just shook me, and I was like thinking of all the intent that day. Everybody came to this workshop with the intention to have healing and bring betterment to their communities around them. So it's just, I wanted to share the dangers of going into the spiritual realm without a clear intent. When you start manifesting, it can be very traumatic if you're not ready and armed with like your heart.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I wanted to keep talking, but I got a visitor coming by, so it's just bad timing. But I appreciate you picking up my call. And,
Okay.
I hope you have a great day.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Karen.
All right. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, I do know what you're talking about, though, with you got to be careful what you're manifesting, because if you're not ready for the way things manifest, it can really take you by surprise. And, you know, not to bring up a negative type of story, but, you know, when I separated from my now ex, it was a really violent separation, but like the whole thing with that is like, you know, the whole time we were married, I was being abused by him, but, you know, and it got to the point where I just couldn't take anymore. And I literally, like, when I thought, at the time, I didn't really think much of it, but, you know, when I think back now, I'm like, wow, it was the universe really answering, you know, my prayers. Like, I just went out and I was like bawling, crying because things were getting so terrible. And I was just out here and I was just like, you know, just verbalizing out loud. I can't take this anymore. Something has to change. I have to get out of here. I can't live like this anymore. And I was just bawling. I was like, I have to, you know, I just couldn't, I just got to the point where it was like, I couldn't bear it anymore. It's like, I just wanted to run away. Finally, it had been like a decade. And then 2 months later, things came to a violent head, and I ended up with my arm broken with a compound fracture, and I had to go to the hospital and have surgery to have my wrist put back together. But that happening gave me my freedom, if that makes sense. Like, that happening, even though that was a really horrible experience, and I was like in the hospital thinking, oh my, you know, just thinking that my life was completely falling apart. But later, because it was, what he had done to me was so violent, you know, I was able to get away. I got a 3-year restraining order. I got my house. I was able to keep my children and the house, and I got my freedom, and I was able to, you know, and I didn't have to leave. I didn't have to go anywhere. I was able to, you know, heal here in my home. And it was like huge for me. That was huge for me. Like, I don't know, you know, if I would have healed so quickly if I had to like completely uproot and disrupt my life. You know, if I had to go run away maybe or something to get out of that situation, would it have turned out so good for me? I don't know, you know, so that, I know, it's, don't worry about it. Everything's totally cool now. Like, this is just in the past, but, and this was 5 years ago now, 5 years ago. So while, you know, I feel like I manifested that to happen by going out and like with all the intent inside of me and like everything inside of me just screaming that I had to get out, right? The universe answered me, but it was in a very that way. It was like, it was hard, but I came out on the other side of it, getting what I needed and in a place where I was able to take care of myself and heal and get back to myself, and also at the same time give a place for my children to heal and everything be peaceful, right? But it was very hard to go through. So I think when you said that, that's the situation, that's sort of an example, the example that came to my mind of where when you're manifesting stuff, if you're manifesting a change in your life, the change could be like the table being flipped over in your face. You know what I'm saying? Like it could just be like, right? But maybe that's what needs to happen, right? Maybe that's what you need to get to where you're going. So you just have to be ready for that and just have faith that things are going to work out. And that as long as your intent is good, that you're, and you have a love of truth, that's, that's what it is. Hi, Najla. Najla did a great video on the Grounded Extracts channel, by the way, if anybody didn't see it. I'll have to change. Oh, by the way, and then David posted a video for the clock app. Let's see. Oh, let's watch the clock app video. It's a new feature that's coming out. This is 4 minutes long. I hope I'm able to cut this down because I need to have a new commercial in the Strange World show. Because the commercial that I have for your app now is old.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right.
Gives you an alert when somebody joins or when there's an animation. Every time the globe pops, a new flat earther is born. Somebody unplugs from the Matrix. People, why does Tartaria look so empty? There's nobody in Tartaria. Up with that. Change could require bottoming out, yeah. Is this a grinder ad? Flattoberfest, woohoo! What are we doing for fun this year, David? That's what I want to know. What are we doing this year? Hot sauce. Woo, look at all the hot sauce! Is that the new batch of hot sauce? Is that a new batch? I'm assuming it is, because I don't think you'd put it in the commercial if you didn't really have hot sauce for everybody. I think people might get upset. There you go. The Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Your answer to Google censorship. Dave definitely makes good hot sauce, for sure. For sure. By the way, since we, great commercial, there's no talking. I may chop that up and, make a new commercial for Strange World out of that. But let's talk about Flattoberfest while I have y'all here. Won't that be great? Are you guys gonna come? It's gonna be so much fun. Flattoberfest, October 22nd and 23rd, 2022. But it's actually 3 days. I kind of go back and forth between saying 21st through the 23rd and the 22nd and the 23rd, because the 21st is like a bonus day. The official event is the 22nd and the 23rd, held in the Greenville Shrine Club, where we had a Flattoberfest 2020. So we have that event now. Instead of 1 day, we have it for 2 days. And we're going to have lots of speakers and live music and lots of Flat Earth vendors and some giveaways. And it's just going to be a blast. We're also going to have Dr. Law there with his cooking tent. And then there's also food made by the Shrine Club. Although I don't think the food at the Shrine Club is the best, but I don't know. But we will have Dr. Law there. And then the 21st, we're going to have the meetup at Herd Klotz Park. The day before, I have rented the park for the entire day from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. at night. And it's that Friday before the event, October 21st. And there's a big gazebo there. It's got tables and chairs. There's barbecue pits. It's got power. So there's going to be a whole bunch of people there the day before. It's going to be like a great big old meetup. Usually we have over 100 people at the park the day before. And it's a great time to get there early if you're able to get in town early. It's a great way to get together and meet people before the event. So like you don't really have to miss anything. I mean, if you want to watch the presentations and stuff, you won't have to miss them. You can meet everybody at the day before on the 21st and get to know everybody. And then you got new friends to hang out with for the entire rest of the weekend. I think it's a great way to work the format. It worked out great the last time. So that's what we're doing. Big, huge meetup at the park, at Herd Klotz Park, October 21st, the day before the event. And then the 22nd and the 23rd will be across the street in the event center. And this is who's going to be there. And actually, I still have one more person to announce. I have one more speaker that I have confirmed that I have not announced yet. But so far, I have announced Austin Whitsitt. Austin's going to be doing a presentation. I think that this is his first presentation at a Flat Earth conference. So that's really awesome. Also, Benjamin Balderson will be there as a presenter. And Mark Sargent. Mark Sargent's going to be back. Also, Jason Lindgren, Marty Leeds are also doing presentations. And we're going to have live music by Austin and Kaya Whitsitt, live music by OBL, and live music by Chief Crow and the Flat Earthworms. And let me tell you something. Chief Crow live is the business. It is the business. He is so good. And if you haven't seen Chief Crow play live, you should go check it out on my channel. Let me see, where is it? Here we go, down here. See these are all solar return videos. Here's Chief Crow and the Flat Earthworms. Okay, and he is so awesome and talented, and I can't wait to watch him play live again. So much fun. He's like a one-man band, super talented. So that will be going on. And then also One Big Love. Dude, One Big Love always plays my events, and they always put on a killer show. They are so great. Actually, they're also playing for everybody who's local to the Carolinas, all you local Kakalaki crew. One Big Love is also going to be playing live in Monroe, in the town that they're from. I think they live over there, but they're also going to be playing live this Saturday. I think it's this Saturday, the 30th, July 30th. So if any of you live local, you guys should come hang out with us. We'll all go over there and watch them play live. It's going to be a blast. They put on an excellent show. They are so fun. So that's what's going on. And then also, Jason Lindgren's going to play live music. He's music and presenter. And we're also going to have the How the World Works exhibit with Zach and Cammie. And they have been adding stuff to their exhibit. And I think what we're going to do this year is we're going to give them a few minutes in the beginning of the event to give you a basic rundown of the type of stuff that they're going to have in the booth and what sort of stuff they're doing there and you know what it is, so that they don't have to spend so much time explaining it all while the talks are going on. Although I'm going to actually, which reminds me, I still need to see about renting that other room for all the vendors and stuff. There. So yeah, Truth Smacks, Grounded Extracts, Handmade with Love by Joelle. And yes, David Weiss will be there, the creator of the Flat Earth Sun Moon Zodiac Clock app. Okay, David will be there. Stop asking me. It's so funny. People ask me that all the time. Is Dave going to be there? Is Dave going to be there? Like, you're a popular dude, Dave. So Dave and Mark are both going to be there. Also, Bob Nodell will also be there from Glowbusters. I do not have Bob booked as a presenter this year. Maybe Bob just needs a break. I think Bob just needs a break, unless he changes his mind. Well, we'll see if we can squeeze him in. But Bob will be there. So if you have not got to meet and talk to Bob, and you want to meet and talk to Bob, you'll be able to do that at Flattoberfest 2022. Oh, you're bringing jewelry and stuff? Awesome, Ben. Ben has great wraps that he's done. I have one that I bought from Ben. I love it. That little opal. I'll be scalping fake Najla says Karen B, you, I, and Dr. Law's karaoke will be on par with Chief Crow. I will even take a shower before I get there and not have 6 kinds of shit on me. That's very nice of you, Ben. Putin. Always say everything happens for a reason. Yeah, exactly. Love the green chakra. Hi, Bex. Yeah. Oh. All right, y'all. Scooter, get in touch with me when you have time so we can start discussing the shirts, because I want, I gotta make sure that gets taken care of. Yes, Ben's presentation is going to be cool AF. I have no idea what it's going to be about, but every time Ben talks for an extended period of time, I learn something, so that's cool. I'm down for learning stuff. All right. Yeah, this Flattoberfest is going to be the last Flattoberfest for the foreseeable future here on the East Coast. I am setting my intent, just as we spoke about earlier, and manifesting a West Coast conference, okay? And it will probably be bigger, and I also want it to be bigger than the ones that we've been having here. And we've been doing pretty freaking good at Flattoberfest. I typically, for the last... 2020, 2021, both of those I had well over 400 people in attendance. I think last year was it was 450. So I'm definitely setting my intent on having a West Coast Flattoberfest conference next year. I don't know where it's going to be. I don't really know for sure what state. I don't know the details. I just know that that's what I'm working towards for the next year. So this Flattoberfest here in South Carolina will be the last one for the foreseeable future. So if you live on the East Coast, if you're closer to the East Coast, if you haven't been to Flattoberfest yet and you want to go and you keep saying next year, this is the year you should come to the East Coast one, because I'm not going to be doing it in the East Coast next year, and I don't know if it'll be back after that, because I don't predict the future and I don't know what's going to happen. Okay? So anybody who it's easier for you to travel to the East Coast, like if you don't want to fly or whatever, the driving is easier for you over here, I highly suggest you come to this year, because next year 100% is going to be West Coast. So that's what's up. Yes, West Coast showing up. So that's what I want to do. And ideally, I would like to be able to at least announce the location at Flattoberfest 2022. But that all depends if I'm able to find a place in the next 3 months and actually reserve it. Okay? So no promises yet on an announcement there, but that's my hope, is to be able to announce the location, at the very least the location and date for the West Coast Flattoberfest. Yeah, I know. People have been asking for West Coast for a long time. I know. Nothing's been further west than Denver. I'm a rock star on the West Coast, right? Please not Vegas, no Sin City. I know. See... I'm kind of back and forth on Vegas. A lot of people say Vegas because it's easy to get to, it's easy to fly to. They have a lot of hotels there, and they're set up for doing conferences. But I also don't. So I don't know. But remember, though, if we go to Vegas, it's not like we're all going there to go gambling, to gamble and get hookers. I mean, we're just going there to have a place to meet where it's West Coast. It's easy for people on the West Coast to get to. Yeah. Well, yeah, okay. I don't know. It's not set in stone yet. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Get Zach on the moon. Have it on the moon. Have it on the moon, right? Cleveland. Reno has great hotels and centers. Yeah, I know. Reno's... I suggested Reno, and then a bunch of people messaged me and poo-pooed Reno, too. Humboldt. Okay, well, we'll figure it out. Ben said he'll help me find a place, so Ben and I will probably be in discussions about that later. But I would like to try to find a place and at least be able to announce the date at Flatoberfest 2022 to be able to announce the date for the Flatoberfest 2023. But I really want to do it over there because there's a lot of people who say they will go to a Flat Earth conference if it's the West Coast. Nobody needs to carry that. Yeah, I disagree. There are some people who need to carry. I think everybody needs to carry a gun. Everybody should do it. Balderson lives up in the mountains in like a hard to access place. Did you see his video where he got his trailer stuck there? I don't know if Balderson's place is really a good idea. Maui? Oh, Lord. Yeah, I know. I wish I could get, I wish it was easier for people to travel from Europe to the United States, but it's just not yet. I think they're still requiring tests and vaccines and all that crap. No, Flatoberfest is not going to be a camping event. It would have to do something else and make it a camping event. Oh, the neighbor's trailer? Oh. Well, October is not... I don't know if October is prime camping time. Murder Mountain. Sedona. How accessible is Sedona, though? You know, you guys got to think about this. It has to be a place that's easy for everybody to get to from all over, which means it has to be probably at least within the hour of an airport. Has to be at least within an hour of an airport. Is there an airport in Sedona? How expensive is it to fly to Sedona? And is that West Coast enough? Flagstaff. Let's see. There's a Sedona airport, but it looks really small. This is not a big airport. I guess Phoenix. You'd have to fly into Phoenix. And it's like a 2-hour drive from Phoenix to Sedona. I don't know about Sedona, you guys. Sedona is insane expensive, right? Isn't it all trendy with the New Agers and stuff? I mean, I've been to Sedona. It's really cool, but yeah. Tucson, it is expensive. Reno is expensive. Vegas is cheap. Reno's cheap. And then when I went to Reno, it was cheap. Did it change? Where's my custom referral code, DITRH? How do you make one? Can I get a custom referral code? So that I can advertise it on Strange World? West Coast is going to be huge. Yeah, because there's a lot of people. Listen, my mom still lives in California, and she listens to a lot of talk radio, and there's a lot of talk radio show guys. Like, she told me that they talk about flat earth all the time, and they're curious. There's one guy she listens to that's curious about it, and the guy said if a flat earth conference comes to the West Coast that they will go. So there's a lot of big podcasters and a lot of radio show people that are interested in attending a flat earth conference on the West Coast. Let's serve it to them, baby. Let's serve it to them. And then we can get all these people talking about flat earth. Like, this is great. I mean, people's minds have been open to this so much, especially after the last 2 years and like the blatant BS and lies that all of us have been subjected to, like just beaten over the head with. And people are starting to like be more open to certain stuff. So we really need to do this on the West Coast next year, you guys. You don't understand. We have to. And we have to make it kick ass. We have to make it kick ass because this could help us get to like critical mass. You know what I'm saying? You just took Karen B. Why would you take my referral code? That's what I'm saying. There's people who are interested in coming to these events and talking with us, but they don't want to come to South Carolina to do it. You know what I'm saying? So we need to go over there. We need to go over there. Exactly. People from other topics are all in that area going to the conference. Yes, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it really needs to be done, and it needs to be huge. I think it would be huge. I'm manifesting it right now. I'm manifesting a massive, massive, massive flat earth conference for the West Coast for 2023. It's going to be fantastic. You can finally get Steffi to show up? Yeah. Maybe. We'll see. All right. Well, let me get off of here so that Zach can play with his toy, your Tesla coil, because I'm interested in what you're going to do. And also, I have some busy work to do with the event and planning and some more promotional work to do. And so I'm going to get going on that. And, you know, that maybe hang out with some friends this week. I would love to see some of your happy faces. Yeah, it is. It's growing fast. It's growing fast. I'm telling you. West Coast, yeah. It'll be the bomb. All right, you guys. Thank you for joining me. Oh, wait, I have one call. Let's take this last call really quick before I hang up on you. Hi, you're on with Coffee Talk and Karen B. Sorry I didn't see you.
Hey, Karen.
Hi.
Hey. So, just I'll make it really short since it was towards the end. You said, like, if you're trying to manifest a change, get ready for the table to be flipped, you know, type of thing.
Uh-huh.
So I have one of my best friends who I try to talk to flat about him, you know, and he's not hearing it out, like, at all. And he keeps on sending me stupid videos, you know? Like, he sent me the one with Dave Weiss and Professor Dave.
Oh, yeah.
And he told me to listen to it as though there was something to get from that video, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so he just showed me one. We were at his house drinking, and he plays the stupidest one I've ever seen. It was like a Mr. Beast video where they take two magnets, and they prove the Earth is not a donut. And it just got me so pissed off that, you know, maybe, like, I think I kind of just lost my best friend. You know, maybe my world slipped. And it's kind of what I was asking for. I was looking for some sort of change, but I was not expecting it to come with me getting so pissed off with my friend over the flat. And it's not like he has to claim my side on it, you know?
Right.
But it kind of ruined a friendship, just this whole flat thing. And it's so weird.
That has happened to a lot of people. So many people have lost friends. They've lost relationships with their family members. I mean, it's really crazy how divisive it can be. I totally get it. That sucks.
Yeah, and me, I'm still hesitant on even like telling the family and everything, just because I know I've talked to some of my brothers about it, and only a couple of them know, not all of them. But yeah, this is just an interesting thing. And as you said, you know, as long as your intentions are right and you're seeking the truth, you know, what do I have to worry?
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna have to sort of become okay with the fact that other people are not gonna see it the way that you do, and they're also gonna be like highly condescending about it. You know? Yeah,
that's the problem. I mean, I'm fine with people just like, oh, I'm not really listening. Like, that's fine. But he was honestly quoting like Flat Earth Society stuff at me before he played the stupidest video ever. Like, all right, then you're supposed to be my best friend, and I've talked to you about all of this, and you're not remembering anything. Like, it is just, I feel like disrespected, you know, but well, sheep are what they are, you know?
Yeah.
Man, I just got back from a Vegas trip, and you said, like, the mass uptick kind of happened when the CDC or WHO announced that thing, and for sure, you're totally right. In Vegas, they were all over the place.
God.
Yeah. I was still having so many conversations with people. Like, there was one girl from China who I was talking to at, like, the roulette table, and she said she lived in Toronto, and I said, like, oh, if you're from Toronto, like, why don't you got a mask on like that person, you know? And I just point them out, you know, they're not going to they're scared of everything. They're not going to go, hey, why are you pointing at me, you know? They're just wearing a mask. And she was cool. I could tell her everything. I told her COVID's fake, Earth's flat, like, and she was just hearing me out. And then my best friend, you know, I get in that whole argument, like, you know, I'm not missing anything, you know? And it's so easy to have a conversation with some random Chinese girl, but not my best friend. And that's kind of what got me the most mad about it.
Yeah, that's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. And we got a camping trip this upcoming weekend, so that should be fun, you know.
That's good. Oh, so when you were in Vegas, was any of the casinos requiring masks, or anybody requiring it, or is it just sort of if you want to?
It is just if you want to.
Okay, that's good to know. That's one thing I'm worried about. Is
and that best friend who I'm all mad at, he had his bachelor party in Vegas, and it was when the mask mandate got brought back. Like, it went away, and then we planned our whole trip like, oh, no more masks in Vegas. And then they brought it back. So the week that they brought it back was our trip, and we were getting bitched at. I don't know if I can say that. But everywhere that we go, they'd be chirping at us about wearing your mask, and it was crazy. So now that there's no mask, it's good to go.
Well, that's good.
But a lot of sheep out there.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for calling. Sorry I had you on hold.
All right, well,
so
thank
long.
you for taking my call, Karen.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Okay.
All right. What's up, David?
Karen. I just don't want to let you here. I want to keep you on. So first, anyone that's like the biggest thing people have. You know, their friends like, they go, oh, look, I Googled Flat Earth and I came up with Professor Dave, and I made a playlist. I'll put it in the chat. It's basically 4 videos that destroy Professor Dave and make you feel stupid forever following him. So save the playlist, people. And if anyone sends you anything by Professor Dave, just send that back. Put it in the comment thread, and that'll shut them up. If they don't watch it, then you need new friends.
Right.
So getting back to the feature, the ping feature, I did it as like, I just thought it would be fun. It's so much fun. I mean, not just for me. Just talk to Zach. I mean, it literally gives you, all flat earthers We all want to wake up people, and we love hearing stories of other people waking up. Every time your phone makes that little noise, you know that a new flat earther was just born. And it gives you this little upsurge of joy, thrill, energy. Now think about this, Karen. You know how, the Maharaji effect or whatever it's called, where everyone meditates together? Mm-hmm. Imagine everybody across the plane getting that ping at the same time and having that charge of energy, upward energy, shooting out at the exact same time worldwide.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
Death blow. I literally think it's a death blow to this energetic evil system that we live in. I literally think if everyone could have these little surges of like, yes, another one, that will actually do something. And it's something I can never prove to be right, but I don't care. I just think I think it's gonna be an amazing thing. And also, like at Flucktoberfest, like if everyone turns it on, like everyone there has it on, everyone's phone is gonna be pinging. You're gonna actually have to make an announcement saying, please turn off your phone. It's going to be very annoying, but it's super fun. And you could also make it so it doesn't make a noise. It just vibrates. You can make it a quieter noise. You can select the noise. It's a blast. And it's going to be great because, when it sounds like a popcorn machine, we win.
Exactly. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So Zach, is Zach one of your testers or something? Is that why he keeps saying "Pop, another flat earther's born"?
Yeah. So Zach has. I sent him the file to test, and final version's just being uploaded today. We're waiting. We have to wait until Apple approves it, which will be tomorrow. So tomorrow midday, it should go live on everyone's phone. You don't have. If you're not interested in it, don't bother updating. Wait for the next big update, which will be the whole messaging system.
Okay. Awesome. Are you still there?
Can you hear? Oh, I'm sorry, I muted myself.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I get dyslexic when I see the mute highlighted. I'm like, does that mean it's on or that it's off? That's it. And Peggy Hall. We should get Peggy Hall to speak next year.
That would be cool. Now that we know that Peggy's really down, cool. Peggy's down with the flat and motionless Earth. I love that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other people in the health industry that are flat earthers that don't want to come out publicly yet, but I think they're going to come out later this year.
Well, that would be nice.
So,
and I still want to get Amanda Vollmer. Can we get Amanda out of Canada?
Yeah, luck with that. Amanda would be amazing. Or I'm cautious on saying any of the other names because I don't know who's out and who's not out yet. So
yeah, okay. Well, don't ruin it, I guess, for them.
No. I am behind the scenes pressuring them. It's like, look, Peggy set a good example for you guys. So it's all good. And listen, I get it. You have to everything with the proper timing.
Right.
So
I get it.
Yep. And Flattoberfest coming up faster than we think. That's going to be great.
It's 3 months now. Less than 3 months. Today's the 25th, so it's just a tad under 3 months away. Exactly.
Sweet. All right, that's all. I'll let you go. Thanks.
All right, thanks for calling.
See you. Bye.
Bye. All right. Now I am going to close the phones. And I will let you all go, and I will let Zach get to playing with his Tesla coil. And I really appreciate you all spending time with me and hanging out with me here at Coffee Talk. And I will be back tomorrow evening with Strange World with Mr. Mark Sargent. And yeah, come hang out at the One Big Love Show this coming Saturday if you're local too. They have an event on Facebook. Maybe I'll put a link on my website so you guys can find it. Okay, so I appreciate you all being here. Like I just said, repeat myself. All right, thanks for being here. One other thing is I did start activate memberships on my YouTube channel for anybody who wants to support me through there, though you don't have to. And I did make some custom emojis for anybody who joins to use. And if more than 5, and if I get a few subscribers, I can even add more emojis. So I have Flat Gang, Red Pill, and a North Pole, and then my cheesy grin. So there you go. Yeah, thanks for being here, y'all, and I hope to see you all at Flattoberfest 2022. And for those who wish to send me stuff through snail mail, you can use P.O. Box 10, Earl, North Carolina, 28038. Also, links below for donations and merch if you are interested in that. Anything at all is greatly appreciated. I do appreciate the support. Thank you very much. Also, please go to flatearthfestivals.com for all information about Flattoberfest 2021 and other Flat Earth Festival events. You can email me about Flat Earth Festivals at flatearthfestivals@protonmail.com, and for everything else, you can email me at karenbfe@protonmail.com.